We bring in our next guest today, and that is Cory Jensen. He is the head coach of the Hanover boys basketball team, coming off that state title. Thanks for coming on the show, Coach. What's the unwinding process like for you? Like, anytime you end a season, whether it's a state title or not, but like, how do you unwind after that season finally does come to a close?
Well, basketball season is such a long season, and our boys didn't have a lot of break coming off of football. We had 1.5 practices before our first game. And sometimes that basketball season, goes from, November to March, hopefully. And, you go to school in the dark, you leave school in the dark. So it's just a long season. But it makes it a lot easier when you're playing that last game in March, and then you get spring break afterwards. And hopefully our guys had time to rest and recharge because, I know, speaking personally, that game was mentally exhausting for me. It took a lot out of me, but it was fun.
Talk about that game here in a little bit, but you mentioned a practice and a half. Before the season started, what do you try to get accomplished in a practice and a half?
Well, you try and start out by making a checklist like, hey, we need this done, we need this done, we need this done. And then you're thinking, we're not going to be able to get any of that done. So, we start with the basics. The good thing was, we have good participation in the summer. So we have a lot of our base set in the summer. So our guys had a little bit of an idea of what we wanted to do, but we put inbounds play in. We hadn't had any set plays on offense, and then defensively we relied on being physical and aggressive, and we did that throughout the year. But our guys handled it really well.
You look at the season, but you guys were able to handle it. But at what point of the year do you feel like, okay, hey, we got into our rhythm, here we go? Was there a point of the season you're like, okay, yeah, this is where we need to be?
Yeah, for sure. My assistant coach and I were talking about that the other day. We feel like after Christmas break, we really kind of hit our stride. We had a couple close games early on, and then that Christmas break hit, and I think it gave our kids time to just kind of relax and just have some downtime. When we came back from Christmas break, our guys were really on a mission. You can look at some of our scores, but we had probably 20 running clocks this year. Our guys started playing offense the way we wanted to play offense. They started playing defense the way we wanted to play defense. And I just feel like after that Christmas break, we really hit our stride, and we didn't look back.
Yeah, dominating season. I was looking at your schedule, and I think there are 4 games that you had that were decided by 10 points or less, and the 2 were at the very beginning of the season, then the loss to Axtell in the regular season, and then obviously the state title game was decided by 6 points. Yep. So playing devil's advocate on a dominating season, some people might say well, maybe they weren't tested or they're unfamiliar in those, close game situations. So once they do find themselves in there, is that a problem? Is that just silly basketball talk, or is there, as a coach, is there any point to that?
I think there is a little bit. When we set our schedule up, we try and get some tougher teams. We dropped some from the previous year just because it didn't work out with our schedule. But the TVL, as everyone knows, is a really tough league.
Yeah.
We feel we play in that league. We're going to be prepared to play in the postseason. And I would say the biggest thing this year that I really want to emphasize for us, our JV was 20-0, and they were very impressive to watch. At times I thought they executed how we wanted to play better than our varsity did. But taking that into practice, when you got those JV guys that can play ball the way we wanted to play, I feel like we were tested every day just going into practice from a varsity standpoint. When we'd go 5-on-5 with our top 12 to 15 guys, it was some competitive basketball. And I think that more than anything prepared us for the long season and just postseason in general.
Man, you getting that JV going, like you said, that's got to be, as a coach, that's got to be really exciting, and just seeing not only the future of your program, but also just maybe the pieces that you can kind of insert here and there. That's going to be pretty exciting, just seeing the JV had that success.
Yeah, they were a fun group to watch. We really emphasize we're analytically driven here at Hanover, and we really emphasize getting out in transition and running. We really emphasize on the defensive end, making teams uncomfortable. But more than anything, on the offensive end, we want to share the ball. We want to give up good shots for great shots. And that JV squad, they did a tremendous job of that this year. They were just a fun team to watch.
So going into the state tournaments, like where was your head at? You know, like, I mean, that's just a different beast. Like, I mean, you can have the, you know, that dominant regular season, but once you get to that playoffs, man, and like, you know, like it's just so different. Like where was your headspace at and just, you know, your mental state of going into that state tournament?
We felt pretty good. You know, we had a bit of a longer break than we'd want, going from into the regular season to sub-state, to state. But we felt really good. We were all well rested. We had avoided injuries for the most part. We had a couple dings here and there, but I think headspace wise, our guys were ready to go. You know, by the end of it, they were just like, "Hey, let's play. I don't want to wait anymore. Let's just get a game going here." And that just kind of speaks to them that like they're fighters, man. They don't give up. They don't back down from any challenge. They were just ready to go.
Cory Jensen joining us here on the show, head coach of the Hanover Wildcats basketball team. All right, like you knew it was Axtell, right, for the state title? Like, I mean, because I mean, there are a lot of good teams at that state tournament, but I mean, it just felt like it was scripted, right? Like it had to be you two to meet up.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, we saw them in the summer too. We had just a tournament here in Hanover, and we played them. Another good game. You know what you're going to get with Axtell is they're athletic. They're going to play tough. They're going to try and create turnovers. They're going to hit the boards. You know, I think more than anything, yeah, you saw the two best teams in 1A, possibly all of 1A, playing in that D2 title game.
Key moments in that ball game for you, like what stood out now is that you've had a few days to kind of reflect.
Well, we got into a deficit early on. We missed quite a bit of layups. We had some turnovers, and they shot extremely well that first quarter. But we knew we had a good feeling though after that first quarter. We battled back. Like I said, these guys were battling. We just knew eventually, you know, our shots would fall. We told the guys all year, like, this team, just wait. There's a run coming for us. There's a run coming. And we hit our run. We started playing defense. We started being the aggressor on the offensive end. We just knew it was kind of a matter of time before we would start hitting our groove. And we did. We got it within two at half. And then that third quarter was just, you know, kind of back and forth. And then the real turning point in the game is we finally got that lead, I think with like 2 minutes, 56 seconds left. We got a 1 point lead. And then we called a timeout, and we switched it up to spread, what we call spread, which is not delay, but we just wanted to get them into the foul bonus because we wanted to be shooting free throws from there out. So we kind of did that. And I don't think Axtell touched the ball again until 46 seconds left. And we were fortunate enough to make enough free throws to hold on in the end.
Big time win for Hanover. Like those moments right after the ball game, like what's flashing through your mind and what do you kind of remember about those moments right afterwards?
I think the biggest thing for me was just, I was so happy for those seniors. You know, their freshman and sophomore year, Tanner and Braylon both have been playing since they were freshmen. Eli is just such a good glue guy. He's somebody that you want in your locker room every single day. He busts his butt every single day, even though he might not get the playing time those other seniors do. I have not ever heard him complain one time, but I was just so happy for those seniors. You know, their freshman and sophomore year, they got runner-up at sub-state. And then their junior year, we got beat on a buzzer beater out at state. So it was just good to see them get that final hurdle, getting the state title their senior year. It was just great to see those guys. Like I said, they're just so great in the locker room, you know, and they're guys that everybody would benefit from having on their team.
How'd you like the setup this year? What was White Auditorium like for state?
It was good. You know, credit Keisha for trying to be innovative and trying something new. I do think there could be some tweaks moving forward. Like our girls made state. You know, we traveled to Kansas Wesley in that first round, which is a great venue. And then we turned around and go to Emporia. There was just a lot of back and forth, but you know, Emporia was a great site. I thought it was a great atmosphere. And you saw a lot of good teams.
Able to win one back in 2021 for you, and then, you know, now here in 2026. So, you know, you talk about that, you know, that gap right there. Like, does it make it, you know, that much sweeter after you get that second one, like, you know, getting back up on top?
Yeah. 2021, it seems like forever ago, but a lot of schools would love to say, last one was in 2021, but we just had a lot of good players come through here. That was our 8th title as a boys program. You look back on 2021, we had some really good players. We had some really good teams in between then. Sometimes as a coach, you're just like, dang, are we ever going to do it again? But yeah, fortunate enough, this group, I mean, they really bought in from day one. I can't say enough about them for how hard they worked, and it was just such a selfless team that they meshed so well together. And they made it fun. Like going to practice was not a chore ever. Like sometimes it is, those days in January, but this team kept it light. They kept it fun, and they were just a great group to be around.
You talk about, the 8, state titles, in program history, and now, the second one since 2021, like that tradition and, that success, does that make it even easier for guys that are coming in, like the new guys are coming in just for the buy-in process? Because sometimes you have to reteach things to, certain groups, right. But, I feel like, at Hanover, there's gotta be a point of this is the expectation, I guess.
Yeah. And that's a great thing about Hanover. I've been on the other side of things before at previous schools where there isn't that base, expectation, I guess you could say. Hanover's a great community, and I've always said this. I believe it starts with the parents. The parents are involved in their kids in the youth age from 3rd grade on, playing basketball, playing football, playing t-ball, whatever it is. The parents they're actively involved. They push their kids, they hold them accountable, and that just translates to later success in high school and junior high. And we just have a lot of kids that want to work hard and be successful, and not only in sports. Like we have a lot of good kids that really excel on their ACTs or FBLA or FFA. They're just ultra involved, and they just want to succeed in whatever they do.
All right, last one for you. Did you reward yourself with the state title? Like some people, they might go get ice cream, maybe they'll have a really nice meal. Did you reward yourself after that state title?
We did. So on the way home, we stopped at Texas Roadhouse and we ate as a team for one final time. And again, those are the kind of memories that I'll really miss with this group. And we talked about it a lot, closing this season down. It's like, hey, we only got, X amount of days with this group again. So that was a great time. We sat there, we talked, we laughed. And those are the kind of memories that you'll hold on to for sure.
Did everybody order steak?
I think 8 of them ordered steak, and I got made fun of because I did not order steak. So,
hey, Coach, appreciate the time, and congratulations again.
All right. Thank you, Cole.
That is Cory Jensen, head coach of the Hanover Wildcats boys basketball team, coming off their state title.